Hello, my name is Shayan. I'm from Iran and currently a second year student at International Sport Management. I was a THBC student from January to June 2022. And today I'm going to give you a presentation about international sport management. So first of all, what is ISPM? When it comes to ISPM, and when it comes to me talking to people and say, I study sport management, they're like, oh, you just play sports? Like, not all the time. They think they just give us some balls and be like, okay, go play football or basketball and then be back. But in ISPM, we study the managerial side of sports. Let's say you look at a football match and you see all those functions. If you pay attention to the details, for example, which channel is broadcasting the sport? What are the advertisements on the side of the court? Who are the sponsors? How did they manage to come up with all these packages? That's what we basically study. I'm going to talk about it more on the next slide. So basically this is the program content. On the year one, we have basically just theories and fundamentals, plus a field trip, which I'm going to talk about it afterwards. And yes, on the theories and fundamentals, the first year is basically all in campus. We just go to the classes, get the content, and also at the end of it, we're gonna have the exams. Most of the exams and also the grades are based on projects, so not written exam mostly. Most of them are also group projects, some of them are actually practical. For example, we had one, but that was called event management, which we had to actually host an event for the other students. We had to like come up with an idea, come up with some sports that we want to play, and also they would be graded based on the measurements of that event that we hosted. And we also had to have like something around 40 to 50 students in our event. The second year, we have the minors. I'm going to talk about it again. And then we come back to theories on the third block. So the minors are on the first block and the second block. Then we come back on campus, do the same thing as we did in the first year. So basically just classes and projects and written exams. And then we're off to the internship. The third year again, on the block 1 and block 2, we have the theories again, we go back on campus. And then at the end of it again, we go on internship plus our graduation thesis. First, a field trip. Last year they took us to Paris because the next Olympic is going to be hosted in Paris. So we went to some of the stadiums, some of the venues that are going to be hosted for the next Olympic. We got to meet a lot of national players. Also, we went to, for example, the BMX venue, also the basketball venues. We went to Stade de France, which is the national stadium for the French team. And then we got to meet some of the managers of the stadium. They start to talk about how they managed to host all these massive events in this stadium, and also some of even the concerts and stuff, because we also study that when it comes to venue management, that it's not just about sports. Sometimes you have to also host other events on those stadiums that you're managing. The next slide would be the minors. So it would be on the second year, first block and second block. There are some minors that are for the ISPM program, which is sport law and sport agency, esports, football management, sustainability, and also volunteer management. But the thing about ISPM is not limited to only ISPM minors. You could pick whatever you want. For example, personally, my first minor was blockchain and cryptocurrency. The second one was trade and investment. So you have the possibility of choosing whatever you want. And that's not the only option, because you could stay in this university and study what this university offers you. You could go exchange. There are some universities that our program and our university are partners with. On the top of my head, I know Germany, Japan, South Africa, Turkey, UK, Sweden. These are some of the countries, but depends on the program. You could also go to different countries. So you could also choose to go exchange. And you could also choose to go to another university in the Netherlands. So you have these three options. and you can basically pick whatever you want in the ISBN.
So may I ask a question? There's not a list of subjects for minors you can choose. You can say you can choose whatever you want, but don't you need?
So yes, there is a list that all the minors that is provided by this university. There are some of them specifically for what you're studying, for the faculty that you're in. So you could pick these, or you could pick the other faculties in this university. For example, the one I picked was in the finance faculty.
Yes.
Or you could go to other faculties and pick whatever that the university is providing. The next slide about internship. So the first internship is starting in a week. So next Monday, the first internship that we have to go on. It's for 10 weeks, but you could also do it longer if you want personally, but the program only wants you to do for 10 weeks. The second one is on third year, block 3 and 4, which that will be kind of used as a platform for your graduation thesis. And these are some of the organizations that this year some of our students managed to go. For example, Bundesliga, the top German football league. Bayern Munich, Heroes Den Bus, which is the biggest basketball club here, which I'll be going from next week. And yeah, basically most of these internships, we got it through the connection that we could make through our teachers. So our teachers are helping a lot, connecting you with a lot of people. Like I got connected to people that I had no idea I would ever be able to speak to them. So the teachers help you a lot. It could also be used as a platform to kind of secure a job for after graduation. Because majority of the people I know that they did internship in those organizations managed to work afterwards in the same organization.
Oh, I have a question. So the process for finding the internship. So may I get a little bit specific? I mean, your process to find that process.
So basically, the program doesn't give you the internship.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely, there are 100 students. They can't do that. But so students are supposed to find themselves.
Okay.
But there are a lot of support from the teachers, a lot, giving you a lot of connections, talking to people. There are also, based on what I know, there are a lot of former ISBM students that are running their own businesses right now in the sport industry, and the teachers just call them and say, hey, I have 2 students interested in this, just give them an interview. So you're supposed to do it yourself, but with a lot of help and support from your teachers. One thing I could also mention is on every year you have one of the teachers specifically as your mentor. So everything you have, you go to that teacher. You have a problem with studying, you're not doing good, you're having stress problems, any problem you might have, you go to that teacher. And that teacher is supposed to be your mentor in the university. And that person, for example, for me, my mentor is quite big in the sport industry, working for the Dutch Football League, working for FIFA, UEFA, Bayern Munich, Valencia in Spain. So for example, he connected me to a lot of people which I could easily just text and say, hey, I need an internship, like, can you like help me? And because those people, most of our teachers are very high profile in the sport industry, and because you mentioned the name of the teachers in those text messages, they would be more interested.
So when I talked to you, you seem quite targeted on what you want to do. So I was wondering, if you have a kind of a dream job in your mind now?
So yes, actually that was what I was talking to my teacher a couple of days ago. Since I was a kid, I was playing basketball, and I always wanted to be like something closely to the court, not necessarily in the departments, for example, marketing or managerial side of it. And the first company I contacted, actually it was the NBB, which is the Dutch Basketball League, and that was the first connection I got from my teacher. I asked him, do you know anyone in the basketball industry? And I was expecting, okay, maybe a local club or something. Suddenly he was like, yeah, this is the email of the CEO of the Dutch Basketball Federation. He's my friend. Just text him, tell him I sent you. Yeah, so for example, I contacted them, but it couldn't work because they didn't want an intern in that time. And then I got in contact with somebody else that is very high profile in the basketball industry, which they have the team of Heroes Den Bus. And then I went there and they look at my CV, and now I have the thing I was imagining since I was like 9 years old or 10 years old. So
Do you know what you'll be doing? during your internship?
Yeah, I'll be doing scouting and player management.
Okay.
So
Wow.
basically, what they told me that I'll have to go and check the data for the leagues in the Scandinavian countries and some Eastern European countries and evaluate players and come up with a list of players and tell the team, okay, this guy is good, he can play on this position, this guy is not good, don't get him.
Is it the full time or part time?
The internship should be full-time, but
Uh-huh.
it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go 5 times a day,
Uh-huh.
5 times a week.
Week?
It depends on the organization.
Mm.
Yeah, for example, you saw I wrote Betway here, which is like the biggest betting sport betting organization in UK. One of our students are going to the UK. I know he is going to be working 5 days a week, but he's getting paid £2,000. So they're not obligated to pay
Wow.
you.
Yeah.
No.
You could negotiate.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For
So
example,
you-
yes,
you
I'm
negotiate?
getting paid, but like the average payment for an intern is like 300 euros
Yes.
to 500-600 euros. I know, for example, one of actually my roommates is going to work for Bundesliga and he's going to get paid 2,000 euros a month. So depends on the
Interns,
organization. Yes, if it's like a very
이 영상이 마음에 드셨다면 구독과 좋아요, 알림 설정 꾹꾹